Gary, round 7, and great to get back on the winners list with a 9-point win over North Ballarat under lights at Eureka Stadium. It was certainly a hard-fought battle in the unique conditions and took a lot of character from the boys to come back from that 22-point three-quarter time deficit. What did you make of it overall?
Yeah, well, obviously when you win, Sam, which we did lost against Footscray, you then want to rebound pretty quickly because you don't want to get into a momentum shift the other way. So to do that right from the outset was always going to be something that we desperately wanted. And the fact is you don't play many night games, and I think we've only played 2 in about the last 9 odd years. So it's a different experience, even though we train under lights all the time. But for us to go up there, Ballarat were obviously fancying themselves a fair bit with comments that were in the paper, and for us to then be in a position where we had to make 5 changes and get a response that way. So all in all, I was reasonably happy driving back down the Western Highway with 4 points in Steve Carr's briefcase. So we were challenged, and we were headed, I think, by 4 or 5 goals on a couple of occasions, and to get back and win by 9 points, we'll take it. And it shows a bit of character, as you said, and some of the young kids continue to give us what we want. Some of the older ones need to get into a little bit of form, but overall there'll be some sides that'll go up there and struggle to win, regardless of where North Ballarat's at in their, I guess, recent new environment as a standalone VFL club.
It must have been pleasing to see someone like Mitch Golby play such a great game. He won plenty of the ball, tackled hard and kicked a crucial goal in the last quarter, and was probably one of the most influential players on the ground in the end.
Yeah, it was, and he was definitely, I thought, our best player, and obviously Mitch is having to adjust to what goes on after being out of the AFL now for a period of time, and there's disappointment in that, but yeah, no, very, very pleased with his effort. He led the way in and around the midfield, kicked a crucial goal, as you said. Mac Rivette, I thought, had another really good, solid 4-quarter game. Obviously guys that need to get themselves going, i.e. Huey Sandilands was I guess a good move to go back into defence in the last quarter. Brodie Myercheck continues to give us something up in the forward line, and as did Cookie when he went up there as well. And I thought even young Tommy Hobbs played his role and kicked a really crucial goal. So Toby was solid again. So we need to make sure that we're building all the time, and you know, okay, the scoreboard will read after a third of the season 4-3, and okay, 3 weeks ago we probably felt we should be 5-2, but that's not the case. So we've got a pretty important 7 weeks coming up, and that'll probably define where we go in the latter part of the year, I would have thought.
And the Development League were pleasingly able to record a solid victory over Frankston yesterday, with players like Nathan Batsanis and Lee Osborne making their returns to football through that side. Have you been able to reflect on how they played and any other guys who might be able to state their claims after the state game bye?
Yeah, well, look, it was important because making 5 changes was sort of forced a little bit by the performance or lack of performance the week before. So, and obviously in Osborne's case, he's coming back for his first game really for some probably 8 weeks. Nathan Batsanis in a similar scenario there, and I didn't want to have to be playing guys that you would probably say are being played on reputation and not necessarily on performance. So, and Aussie had 25 plus possessions and was pretty good across half back, and Nathan had I think 21 from memory, and he was solid enough. But you'd expect that too, because it is development footy and they're guys that have got I guess some reasonably lofty expectations, but sometimes it's hard to play really well in a development competition because the standard's not as good. But for the reserves to get another win, now that's 2 in a row, and it sort of puts them back in contention, and with the side that they had, you'd expect them to win anyway. So I guess it's more of the manner, and to go away at the end and win by some 6 goals was encouraging. And the overall contribution from guys like Clark and Yacarino, Jason Williams had a really good game as well. So that's good for Jason, because someone like him is a bit different to what we've got. He did have a pretty serious thumb injury after the recruit program. So again, what we're seeing is guys that are knocking on the door, and how we fit them in, well, that'll remain to be seen if and when we get to selection Wednesday week. So we'll just keep plotting the course that we're on, and we want a lot of internal pressure, and we got a little bit more of that after yesterday's win by the reserves.
And just quickly with the state game, firstly, do you think the week's break has come at a good time for the club? And secondly, what are the plans of attack for all of the boys not participating in the state game this week in regards to training and potentially having the opportunity to freshen up over the weekend?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's congratulations to Brodie and also to Khan, because they've represented themselves really well with the Port Melbourne Footy Club, and I'm sure they'll do the same thing with obviously the Big V. As far as our program, it's pretty much work as normal, mate. You know, if we miss sessions for whatever reason, you can't get those sessions back. So we'll go about our business tonight, then we'll train hard Wednesday, train hard Friday. There'll obviously be some guys that'll be required to go back for their home clubs. Has the break come at a good time? Probably not, because you want to keep going and get that momentum. I know there's some guys that have possibly played maybe 3 or 4 practice matches plus another 7 games now, but that's just the way the fixture is. So you've got to suck it up and get on with it, and we'll do that. So we've got a lot of work to do. Obviously, we're not happy with some of the things we did on Saturday night and yesterday, happy with others. So there's always plenty of work to do, mate, and hopefully it's again giving us the opportunity to work on specifics and look forward to a big match against Casey in a couple of weeks.
Gary, thanks for your time again on Borough TV. Enjoy the week.
Good on you, Sam.